All right, good evening, everyone. This is the Reseller Roundtable. Our podcast also streaming live on YouTube. This is Brian, aka Dr. Denham. And if everybody wants to introduce themselves real quickly. Scott?
Yep. Hi, I'm Scott. I'm Dumpster Diver Dab here in Sacramento, and I do Amazon and eBay, really hard on eBay right now. And if you want to follow me on Instagram or YouTube, you can do that. But I go to the bins, I go to outlet stores and garage sales and pick up items to sell on both those platforms. So, thank you.
And I'm Kevin from the Thrifting Lounge. And again, I also mainly sell on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Mercari.
Yep. I'm Andy. I go by eBay Contrarian. I've just started a new YouTube channel. It's the eBay Contrarian if you'd like to subscribe. I'm a full-time eBay reseller, almost all clothing. My specialty is auctions. Contrary to popular opinion, you can do 99-cent auctions in 2021 and be very successful at it.
And normally we have Alton, addicted to hustle. He's not with us tonight, feeling a little under the weather, so hopefully you feel better, Alton. All right, so today's agenda, the main thing that we want to do is to go over eBay's quality listing report and share that with our audience. You can find us on Spotify under Reseller Roundtable. And the whole point of that is to help you create better listings to ultimately get better sales. But before we get to that, our first segment, we want to talk about just kind of like the state of the union, what everybody's up to. I guess we'll just go clockwise. Scott, what have you been up to this week?
Basically, I have been doing 15 listings a day on eBay. So, and then trying to bank a couple on top of that. But mainly, I'm trying to build up my eBay store. I have about 600 listings right now. So I am going through and selling similar. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to talk about that. But I'm going to go through. And I've been finding all my stuff at the bin. So I've been buying stuff about for $1, maybe a little bit more when I average all my cost out, because I buy light t-shirts all the way up to jeans and jackets. And my cost of goods is just right around $1. So when you buy stuff for $1 and resell it, there's a high ROI. And that's what I've been trying to do. Now, I'm only at a $20 ASP like I showed you guys before in our group, but I'm looking to build that up to like 25, 30 in the next month. So basically, I've taken a store from July 17th to today and into about $4,000 a month sales and then $1,000 a week. So I'm really humping with that. Of course, for Amazon, I'm looking for replenishables for Christmas, the candy and stuff like that. I sell one box set this time of year. So I'm building those up and going to send those into Amazon here pretty soon. So that's what I'm doing. I'm working on and trying to ship everything out on time and do all that stuff. So
I've been absolutely super busy. Fourth quarter has actually come, and it's really the last week or so has been absolutely amazing. We're still trying. Well, I think we finally got caught up to the glitch that we had in June, where our store was down and all of our items were not being able to be found for like almost a month. So we're finally caught up now. And yesterday I sold 13 items. The day before that, 12. Today I have like 9 already. And I am absolutely, I would say the top 2 things coming out of my store right now are blazers, suits, and sport jackets, and jeans. I have no clue why so much in the sport jackets. I think because like 50% of my business is sport jackets and blazers. I just don't understand. I mean, it's wintertime and I'm selling these things through the roof. So yeah, that's what I have going on here. And I'm also cross-posting them on Facebook Marketplace and Mercari. No sales with the blazers on Mercari as of maybe last 2 weeks, but I am selling them on Facebook Marketplace about 2 a week. So no clue why everyone's buying sport jackets right now. maybe I don't know. Maybe the country's finally everyone's starting to open up, but that's what's going on with me.
Yep, and I've over the last week I've done about $1,200 in sales. I spent a lot of time sourcing today. I found 3 pairs of salvage jeans, which is always cool to find. I just got a pair of Rock Revival Dan Relax Straight that I think there's like 18 available, but none of them look like mine. It's like multicolor stitching in it. So I listed them for about 100 today. And last week I had a gray pair of vintage Levi's 501s that I sat on because generally I don't have any luck selling them if they're not either blue or black. And I listed it right after we finished last week on Thursday, and like 4 hours later it sold for like $109.95. So that was a cool sale. And then beyond that, I've made 3 videos this week and got them up on YouTube, and one of them got indexed about how to fix slow sales, because one of my specialties is kind of doing keyword research and getting your titles relevant to what the search suggestions are in the search bar. And when you match the two of them up, kind of like some magic happens. You sell quicker, and your listings become more relevant to what people are what eBay thinks is relevant and what people are actually searching for.
Okay. This week, each week I like to add 1 listing per day. I started this, I guess, 7 weeks ago at 20 listings per day. This week I'm at 27 listings per day. And sales have been pretty good. I just double checked. Out of the past 9 days, 7 of the 9 days have been over $500. So I'm flirting with what we call Reseller Nirvana, which is you sell as many as you list daily. I don't hit that every day, but I'm usually fairly close. And that's one of the benefits of having a big store. As far as what's selling, it's not a big surprise, but I'm selling lots of sweaters, jeans, and jackets. And as we're in November, that's nothing. I mean, that's to be expected. I think we didn't plan on talking about this, but we got a good question from Christian. So let's chat about that real quick. We'll just go around the horn. He's asking about promoted listings, and I guess I'll lead off on this one. There are a lot of different ways that this can be done, and I've dabbled in different strategies. What I'm currently doing is part of my routine each morning. Like I go through this whole routine. The first thing I do is I go get my orders that I'm gonna ship out. Then I log on to eBay. I then create a coupon each day. I do a daily coupon, and I adjust that amount depending on how my sales were the day before. And that strategy's actually been working pretty well for me. It's allowing me to stabilize. That coupon converts pretty well. Then I check messages from customers, because sometimes somebody will want to cancel an order. You don't want to ship out something that somebody wants to cancel because it's just going to turn into a return anyway. Then I do my promoted listings. And what I currently do is I do not promote a listing for the first month. And my thought is a new listing gets a bump. And so it gets a lot of organic traffic for that. I would say probably that first month anyway. And if it hasn't sold within a month, then I go ahead and promote. And since I'm doing almost all clothing, I promote at 7%. So that's part of my morning routine. I'll promote everything at 7%. That is 1 month or older. And then I send offers to likers, and then I go into the shipping. And after I ship, then I go into listing. But as far as promoted listings, I used to promote across the board, and I was actually promoting at 10%, but I kind of realized I was just giving money away the way I look at it, because a lot of those items will sell without the promoted. So why promote right away is kind of my current thought on it. What about you, Scott?
Basically, I've been running between 3 and 5% on my promoted listings. I've been fluctuating all around. I go in and I either raise it a point or lower it a point just to see how that's working. I don't know if it adds anything to it. Just testing it out and going from there. So my cost, like I said, my cost of goods are pretty low. So I can fool around with the percentage a little bit. I know some people do 1%, some people do 2%, 3%, or the suggested, and the suggested is pretty high, 7 to 8 to 9% sometimes on some of the categories, especially the video game category. So I try to keep that low and try to move it around and see if that helps any. But I've just started that, so anywhere between 3 to 5%.
Yeah, for me to piggyback off to tail onto your answer, Scott. I tend to think now every time I see it, I feel like once a week the rates on specific niches are just keep going up to the point where it's almost like, man, if it keeps going up, I keep giving more money to eBay, and I don't want to do that because it takes that from me and my family. Same thing with you guys. So I've been doing a lot of just not even promoting. And I've been seeing the views for the first few days are really low, but they pick up. Like I feel like once they index them, they kind of pick right up. Because if you do a search, specifically, I do sport jackets and blazers. Out of the first, I would say 30 listings, I would say only like maybe 10 are promoted. I think they work it in that way. So promotions get up there, but also non-promoted items are up there. So basically, like everybody has a chance. And I do know eBay, just because they say, I think you told me this yesterday, Brian, just because they say they promote it. Oh, or it was Auction Professor. Just because they promote it doesn't mean they're going to promote it. Just like if you have an item that you list, it doesn't mean that it'll show up in search. They can ghost your items too. So I think they do that to kind of keep it fair with people. But I'll tell you, man, I've been, since raising my rate from my usual 3.1 to 5 to 6 around there, and sometimes I'll tap out at 7, I feel like I've been getting a lot more sales, but then it could be because I'm relisting and similar and tweaking items that have been there for, like, I have items that have not been relisted or sold similar in like 2 years. So I think that is the main reason why I'm getting a lot of these sales, is because of that sell similar over promote and hire. So because after a long time, it seems like some of your stuff just gets ghosted. So you kind of want to just sell similar, get everything right back up. It refreshes it, that listing for you. But I don't know if you guys notice, I do notice that a lot of the stuff that I list aren't getting many viewers. And I did call eBay about that, and they said that they're putting me on a ticket for that because it is affecting some sellers ever since the fall update.
Andy?
And yeah, I have been just promoting it whatever the listing template suggests, and but I was making a video earlier to show people how to make their titles relevant to what people are searching and what comes up in the search bar drop down menu. And I was seeing my stuff indexed high up, but it was always the promoted. So I think I'm going to play around with not promoting as I first list and see where they land in the search results, and then start promoting after that. And I can't remember, somebody told me to go onto a Chrome browser and go incognito, and I was still finding my stuff. It may have been a little lower in the search results. So another thing that has anybody else got, because I, between 50 and 70% of what I list is an auction. So I got something from eBay on my phone app where for $3 you could promote an auction listing. And I played around with that on those Tom Ford shirts that I sold last week. and I don't think that it really made a difference. But I had a pretty big cushion built into those because they sell for pretty good money. So that was just kind of weird. It only happened on my phone. It said it says you can promote. It says like I can promote 51 listings right now, and I've got 51 auctions going. So
to Craig's point, I think like 90% of my sales, I haven't looked at the exact number, but I think they're all promoted listings that are selling. It seems like I keep on seeing that fee on my reports. So it does seem like they are pushing the promoted over everything else.
I think mine are about, it varies from day to day. Probably about 40% organic, 60% promoted. Now here's what I've noticed. If you get a lot of organic sales early in the day, well, actually, if you don't get many organic sales early in the day, what I've noticed is they'll really push that promoted traffic in the evenings, and on those days you'll see a lot more promoted listing traffic sales than regularly. And Kevin, from what I understand, after about 6 months, they will go ahead and suppress your listing. And after listening to Andy's video, I like to run experiments, because if we don't test it, it's really hard to be able to say yes or no. So part of my process each morning is I go through my Otis listings, and I will delist them, fix the titles, the item specifics, check the pricing, and then I had been relisting them. But what I'm going to test, at least for a couple of weeks, is I'm going to push those to auction, and do that a Sunday auction that starts at 6 p.m. Pacific and ends in a week at 6 p.m. the following Sunday. So I'll then be able to get a judge of like how an auction might work. And at the same time, I'm trying to really push those older listings out. Like currently I'm working on listings from December of last year.
Yeah, I'm up to February of 2020. That's where I'm at now.
I was just looking at my traffic stats, and it looks like 55% of my impressions are, let me go back and look. 55% are organic and 45% are promoted. So I'm getting more impressions from my organic, but I think my sales maybe 30 or 40% are from promoted on the fixed price stuff, because a lot of my stuff isn't eligible because it's auctions.
Yeah, I think I'm mainly organic, and then a lot of other sources besides eBay. That's what I've noticed for the last month. They say I'm up 99.9% from this time last month to now, outside sources compared to last month. So I don't know what they're doing. All I could think of is I've been using that white background in Photo Room. I think because I know Google likes the white background, and it's not eBay. I guess it's a myth, but it's more like Google likes the white background.
All right. So our next topic, we're going to talk about our sales of the week. And I guess I'll go ahead and start here. All right, let's share the screen.
So we're going to be going over the eBay. What is it? Not traffic. What is it again, Brian?
Quality.
The eBay
quality report.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, seems like I kind of froze up on my end. Can y'all? Oh, there we go.
No, you're fine.
Okay, there we go.
T-Mobile.
And I've been struggling. I'm doing everything I can to get what's available. All right. Wait. Oh, sorry, wrong topic. Okay, so This was my best sell of the week. This I sourced. I don't know if I sourced this or Clay sources for me sometimes.
I
And
know you
don't
said.
remember.
I think you said you got it at the bins, right?
Yeah, I think I sourced this, but Clay might have sourced it. I don't remember. But this is a snow jacket, new with tags. The brand is dope. And so we can also kind of look at titles too, right? Like kind of what Andy's talking about. So I always start with a brand. Then what is it? It's a dope is the brand. Obviously, you can see it right there. And it's a snow jacket. The gender is men's and the size is large. So that's how I format all my titles. And then I put in relevant keywords: water repellent, snowboard, ski, red, compact padding, terms that others may search to find it. And coming from the bins, this was probably like $5 because they will max out. They will max out on weight. Ooh, and I've got this thing upside down. What a horrible listing. That picture's upside
And
down.
I'm looking now. That sold pretty quick. Wow.
Yeah, it was listed November 3rd, and it sold a couple days ago. So yeah.
Oh, and tell them the sale price is for people listening to the podcast.
Oh yeah. On the podcast, it sold for $149.99 plus $20 shipping. Cost of goods, I think, was $5. So jackets are one of the items you want to look for when you're outsourcing. Now, this time of year, a lot of people realize that jackets and sweaters, and a lot of people will source kind of like in season, whereas I like to source year round because I'm still buying shorts, I'm still buying t-shirts, I'm still buying board shorts, and in the summer I'll still buy jackets and I'll still buy sweaters. So anyway, that was my sell of the week. Jackets can have some big ROI. Scott,
and also
what about
the best time to source those is off seasons too. Just like, you know what I mean? Just like picking up Halloween costumes off season. And sometimes they sometimes they sell before the even season starts.
Very nice. All right, share my screen. You guys see it yet? No.
Not yet.
Brian needs to click it in.
Oh, Brian. Brian. I always get this part confused. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. This doesn't take much to confuse you.
No, it doesn't. Not nice job from nowhere.
Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go.
I think that's mine.
Yeah, I don't see one from Scott. Why don't you go, Kevin, and then
Here, I'll go right now. Yeah.
Scott.
So I sourced 4 of these at a thrift store that was half off. I always kill it at this thrift store. It's called Community Thrifting in Tampa. I got there really early. I think it was actually the first one in, and it was half off everything that day.
Wait,
I had
Kevin,
a coupon.
for the podcast, just like you reminded me, could you explain what it is?
Yeah, I'm getting into it. So I purchased 4 of these Wilson N-Codes tennis rackets. It's a Roger Federer autograph model. So I purchased 4 of them for $10 total with the bag. The bag's not usable, so I'm just going to keep the bag whenever I get extra tennis rackets. And I listed this for $204 because I always run 40% off sales. I listed for this $204, and I sold it for $175. They took a best offer, and I sold it within like 3 or 4 hours. I have the other 3 listed at about the same price, and I got some watches. I've sent out some offers. But yeah, this is really good sale. I would say paid a total of $250 since it was 10 and I got 4, and I sold this one for $173.
Yeah, sports equipment is a great niche to work in. And Kevin, you know this, obviously. Golf clubs, baseball bats, softball bats. I used to dabble heavy in baseball and softball bats and sold many of those for over $100. So
yeah, and they sell quickly. Baseball bats, if you get the right ones. I had a baseball bat from the same store I bought, but the previous time, and I paid like $2 for it, and I sold it for $150 within 10 minutes. I was surprised.
I had a killer. Oh, I'm sorry. I I was gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah.
what are the when you restring a racket? What are the things that go around the outside? I can't think of the name. Are they
Like a little, I know you mean like little clip.
grommets? The
Yeah, they're like
grommets.
yeah.
I bought a huge like IKEA bag full of tennis racket grommets for restringing, and they were some of them were selling for $50, $60, $70 a pop.
Oh man.
And I think I
Wow.
paid $20 for the whole bag. That was amazing.
Yeah, that is. Oh, your turn, Andy.
Go ahead, Andy.
All right. Yeah, let me get.
And
Cheers.
while he's doing that, Clay, I Ashley Frankenstein the box, and I think it ended up being like the measurements were like 30 because the racket itself was 27 inches, so she did a 30 by 4 by 14, and we made $5 on it for the shipping, so it was like really like $10.90 for the shipping, and we charged them $15.99.
Yeah, so yeah, I got a couple of things I wanted to show you. This I had this for over a year, and I listed it right before the show went live last Thursday, and we went through the show, and when it was over, it had already sold. It sold for $109.95 what I listed it for, and I sat on it because generally I've never had any luck selling Levi's that are any color other than blue or black. But when I did my keyword research on this one, I found one that sold at auction for $96. And then, so I was going to run it as a 10-day auction. And then I thought, let me try and list it at 110 and see if I can sell it quick. And it did sell quick.
Yeah. Do you have a picture of the tags we can look at, Andy?
Sure.
Also, how much did you pay for this? So you sold it for $109. How much did you pay?
I paid probably between $7 or $8.
Nice.
Those
So
are
it
from
was
the 80s.
Yeah, they're 80s or 90s.
80s with that red wings.
Yep.
June of 81. See if you see that the 0601. That's going to be June of the 01 is in that case 81 because that previous picture with that red, I call it bat wings. Those are from the 80s. So that's a nice sell right there.
Yep, that was that didn't come out real clear, but you could tell too by the pocket rivets can give you an indicator too of the age. And I figured it was either 80s or 90s. And
the 90s, just FYI, will have they will have the black paper tag with the black bat wings, whereas the 80s had the red ones.
And they would be in the waistband.
Well, that picture you showed,
yeah, this was was sewn into the leg, into the leg hems.
Oh wow, that was a leg.
Yep. And then this is another one that I listed it and it sold in days. The reason I bought it was because of the Harbortown golf links, because of that logo. And it's poly spandex, and it had the tartan collar. I couldn't really find any similar Sea Pines collection as a brand, but anything that has that Harbortown logo is selling upwards of $50 or more. And I listed it at $69.95, and I sent an offer out of like $44.95 because I didn't really have anything solid to go on. And I paid $5 for it, and turned $5 into $45 in a few days. That's good enough for me.
All right, so what's up next?
Okay, so next, I guess we'll get to the meat and potatoes, the eBay quality listing report.
Thanks for reminding me how hungry I am right now.
Right?
No barbecue.
I'd love to have meat and potatoes.
Steaks
right
are
now.
waiting for me from the barbecue right now. So this is over. Steak and potatoes. T-bone,
All right.
in-bone.
So
How much did that
let
run
me
you? Like $40?
Yeah, Safeway was running a special for $4.99 a pound. So
Oh, I think it's expensive.
amazing.
So you can find this through the Seller Hub if you go under the Sales tab. I'm sorry, that's the listing sales report. I'm sorry, it's a different report. Performance summary. Yeah, there it is. And so this button right here, download listings quality report. And for podcast listeners, this is under the Sellers Hub, under performance, and under download listing quality report. And once you click on that, it will open an Excel tab. And there's lots of information that's very valuable here. So under the summary tab down below, it will show you, let's see, yeah, right here. It'll show you your rank out of eBay sellers, like in each different category that you sell in quite a bit. Like under men's used pants, I'm 353 out of 54,000 sellers. Casual button-down shirts, new ones, which I don't sell a lot of because I don't get a lot of new ones. I'm 1,006 out of 80,000. Let me find one of my betters. Here's a top 100 under men's jeans. Dr. Denim is 99 out of 77,540 sellers, and this is based on gross market value. In other words, like the value of the merchandise that you sell. Let's see if there's anything else.
So like the overall sales of for that category?
Yeah, like your total gross amount. And I guess my top category currently is women's jeans used. I'm 72 out of 122,000. Casual button-down shirts, I'm 101 out of 124,000. Like my goals are to be top 10 in a couple of these. But so this gives you the big overview. And everything is green means nothing can be improved. If these are yellow, they will give you things that you can improve. But these niches, see, these are all new. I only sell a handful of these, so I'm not even really going to worry about that. Here, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so down here on the bottom, if you click on the actual niche, it gives you a lot of important information. So this graphic is your buyer funnel. Sellers selling in this section, there's 54,000, right? This gives you your impressions in eBay search, and these are your trends. Like I get 69 impressions in the pants category, which is down a little bit. Click-through rate is 0.44. That's up a little bit. Rank versus other sellers, I'm up 321 spots. And then your conversion. So this basically your impressions are when somebody searches, if it shows up on their computer, that's an impression. A click-through is when they actually click on the item, and a sales conversion is when they buy it. So that's kind of how the funnel works. So this kind of gives you an idea of how you're doing and the trends if you're moving in the right or wrong direction. There's also a lot of seasonality in different niches, so you got to take that under consideration. All right, now
I have a quick question for you. Those J. Crew Sutton pants, how long have you had those up? Is those brand new? Because it says click-through rate, no clicks. Same thing with the Tommy Hilfiger Crest Grays. So now how would you attack that one, unless that's one you just put up?
I probably just put that up, or it may even be as a draft. I haven't clicked on the individual ones. When I look at this, it's kind of as a more global way of looking at it. Like let's look up here. And this, by the way, this scrolls over. So if you look at it, like they're saying I have a high items not as described rate. Make sure your listings are accurate, which I don't know what's up with that. Top 10% of listings shown in the eBay search, there's 1%. Bottom 10% is 1%. Let's see. Yeah,
This is not. I like this a lot.
Okay.
Because this
Now,
really can tell you how to attack it.
exactly. Now, here's the good data, like daily impressions per listing. Recommended item specifics, I have 10. Now, what we talk about in Chris and Text Group is like we're serious resellers. I'm not comparing myself to a casual eBay seller. I'm comparing myself to a top 10% eBay seller. So if you're a full-time reseller, I would look at it from that lens. So required item specifics. I'm on average in this category filling out 10 of them. The top 10% of eBay sellers in this category are filling out 9. So I'm beating the top 10%. The bottom 10% of sellers are only filling out 4. So you can see that they're failing there. On the brand, 100% of my listings have the brand filled out. And by the way, these are all like Andy was talking about this. These are the things that eBay is looking at when they are looking at the relevancy and the search results of your listing. So these are the things you want to look at. 100% of my listings in this category have the brand filled out versus the top 10% of eBay sellers have 97% have the brand, that's a layup, right? And 95% of the bottom 10% have that filled out. Let's see, I'm trying to remember how to look at this. The click-through rate, like I'm at 10, the top 10% are at 6. Sales conversion, I rate 10, the top 10% rank 8.
I feel like learning this could be a huge asset. That probably is a really underrated tool that resellers don't probably even look at.
Exactly. Now
Clay
look at this one.
Clay's asking, where is that report again? And then can you explain that so people could get to that?
Yeah, it's under the performance tab, download listing quality report. Now look at this one, the number of photos. This is a very important metric. On average, I'm doing 9.6 photos in the pants category versus the top 10% of sellers are doing 8.1 and the bottom 10% are doing 6.2. So I'm winning in that metric as well. The number of keywords in the title, I'm at 11.4. I'm actually a little bit under the top 10%, which is at 11.9. So this is an area, maybe I want to try to get one more keyword in there. I could do a little bit better. Free shipping, I don't believe in free shipping in used clothing, so I'm at 0%.
I don't either.
I don't think any of us veterans are either.
No, that's for people that don't know better. Well, look, the top 10%, only 14% of them are doing free shipping. So that's pretty low percentage. 14-day returns, 30-day returns, 60-day returns. I offer 60-day returns. Look at this. I am killing everyone else. 77% of my listings have 60-day free returns. Only 4% of the top 10 sellers in men's pants offer 60-day returns. So that is giving me a boost and an advantage. And here's my thought process behind this. If they want to return it, they're going to return it anyway. And if you don't offer free returns, they're going to file even more often a false item not as described, and you're going to have to take the return anyway. So I offer free returns. And most people, if they're going to return it, it's usually within the first couple of weeks. So I offer 60-day returns, and I've never had a return come in that's older than like 3 weeks. And all that does is boost me in the search result.
So, Brian, I wanted to ask you that. Do you think that these metrics have an impact on the algorithm? And apparently you think that it does. Or that it will.
100%. I would put my eBay money on this, because think about it. eBay is giving us this data, and this is how they rate us. As a matter of fact, I was listening to the eBay for Business podcast actually today. In their last podcast, that's exactly what the host said, that these are the metrics that they are grading you against your competition. So these are the metrics that you want to be winning against. And in my opinion, you want to be winning against the top 10% of sellers.
Can you send me that link after this show so I can watch it, listen to it?
Yeah, sure thing. Accepts returns. Look, 100% of my items, only 66% of top 10 eBay sellers accept returns. Do you think I'm getting an advantage on those? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Seller paid returns, free returns, I'm killing them on that one. Promoted listings, I'm at 83% of my listings are promoted in this category versus 57% of the top 10%. And look at this. Now, do you think you can make some inferences here. Out of the bottom 10%, only 8% of those sellers promote. Do you think it's just coincidence that they're not getting many sales? So
That's rolling blackouts.
Well, no. What I think that could be also is new sellers. New sellers, when you first start, you're not allowed to promote listings. Because when I did my second store, I was like, oh man, I didn't know I can't promote a listing. They give you a certain amount of time, and then you can promote your listings.
Okay, well that makes sense.
That's probably what that is. Yeah.
And then it gives you your average. Like, I am lowering this, but I used to do it at 10%, so my average is still pretty high. That's at a 9% promoted listing rate versus 5% for the average top 10.
And I think that's how eBay gets their average when when they want you to promote a certain percent. They're like 9%, 8%, 7%. I think they're getting it off that.
Look at the actual handling time. The top 10% is what, 2.7, and then like the bottom is 7. Imagine buying an item. This is one thing I cannot stand, is when you buy an item and then they just sit on the item and they don't send it out for a week.
And I'm not sure why it doesn't show my data here. I offer same-day shipping with a cutoff of 6 a.m. Central Time. You could still get the same-day shipping. So my average it's lower than the 2.7. The only reason it would be, it's probably under 1, except for the fact I don't ship out on Saturday, which is not a business day.
Yeah.
So an order that comes in on Friday would be the longest for an order. Now, I'm not going to go through every niche, but you can do this for each of your categories. Like, here's coats and jackets, and it color codes it, which makes it easy for you to look at.
I have a question on the best offer. It says it had you at 100%, and the competition is not relevant, and I was wondering why that was.
Well, the 100% is because all of my listings I accept best offers, because I think like 30 to 40% of my sales are through offers of some form or fashion. Most eBay sellers are looking for a deal. I'm looking to move inventory, so I do that. Now, I don't know why it said not relevant. Maybe there wasn't enough data. And I know that eBay, matter of fact, on the eBay for Business podcast, the host did say that eBay doesn't share all this data. So some of that stuff that says not relevant or not applicable, eBay has it, but for whatever reason, they're not sharing it with us.
I'd like to see information on people that just auto decline offers, what that does to them.
Yeah,
because
we've had this
we talked about
before.
that.
Yeah, I would not recommend auto decline. Yeah, we have talked about that. I would do auto accept maybe. I do all mine manually, and I do it like at set times throughout the day. And I think that's where really learning your niche and knowing your cost of goods, knowing your expenses, knowing your business model. Like in our group, we talk a lot about fast nickel, slow dime, and I'm not saying there's one way that's necessarily better than another, but for me, I have a fast nickel approach. I know my cost of goods are low, and I can get most of this stuff. It's easily replaceable. You can find it at any thrift store, any garage sale in America. I can sell American Eagle. I can sell Levi's. So I'm not holding out for top dollar unless it is something very unique and very rare, and there's not a lot of competition. And then, yes, I will price it high. Because if you take your money and you sell it and you reinvest it, like if you do those projections, I've seen them, you will make so much more money with that model versus the slow dime and holding out for every penny.
If you can churn your seed capital 3 times a month, you're going to make way more money than if you sit on it. And then if you've got 1,000 listings up and your average cost of goods is $5, you got $5,000 tied up. That's just, I've got like a total usually of 150 to 200 listings, but I'm selling 120 to 160 items a month. So I'm not accumulating a backlog of inventory. And if I am, it's because I probably made a mistake in something that I sourced that's just not selling.
Yeah, I agree. I like to see Scott's numbers because, I mean, I wonder if he's hitting them nail on the head because he's been getting a lot of sales. And one thing to think about, Brian, it may help him in the future as he grows. Like, he may be ahead of the game than where we were at because we never really had these metrics to look at back when we started our store. But I mean, Scott gets a lot of help from us, and he seems to turn and burn pretty well. So I wonder if he's setting himself up for to be really good down the road.
Right. No, I think that's valid. I want to. Heidi asked a question in the chat about how do I get 9 or 10 pictures. So I'm just gonna. Oh, hold on. Let me check this offer.
Yeah, you better take that offer.
Better get
that offer.
Make that sale.
You're just
okay.
What it was the algorithm just heard you mention American Eagle jeans, no joke, and now you get an offer.
So let's look at this as an example. We'll look at the pictures, and I'm going to accept that. I just listed these recently. They're at $29.99, but normally I'm going to take anything 50% or higher. So my first picture is the front. I don't know what you call it, where you see the whole picture, right? So there's one. I take a picture of the back. And actually, that's not the order. I don't know why that got in that. This is actually the order. It's 1. Then I do the front half is 2. I do 1 of this pocket because the closer you get to the denim or whatever you're taking a photograph, the more true the color is. So there's 3. I do the bottom part of the jeans is 4. I do the back, the full one. There's 5. I do the back, the top half is 6. I do this pocket and the logo. There's 7. I take a picture of the closure. There's 8. I do a picture of the brand on the inside waistband. There's 9. This is telling me it's original boot cut. There's 10. Size tags and fabric tags is 11. This, I don't do this anymore. When I was using this bin system, I would use this as my last picture in case I for some reason forgot to put my SKU, then I could find it in the picture, but I've switched my inventory system, so I no longer do that. So that one I think had 11 or 12 pictures. So let me accept this offer real quick, and I'll quit sharing the screen.
I always put the measurements now in the pictures, and I still get some customers are like, "What are the measurements?" I'm like, "Dude, they're in the pictures." But no, I do it because that'll also, like you said, it helps you out putting pictures up there.
Can I share my screen for a minute, Brian, and I can show her too, because I do a lot of jeans and I've got that many pictures as well.
Absolutely. And you're welcome, Heidi. And the more pictures you take, the less likely you are to get a return. And as we just said, the eBay algorithm, as that report shows, prefers that. You're welcome.
Okay. How many did I do on this one? So I usually do a V-lay on my jeans as the first picture. And if they're like Rock Revival that have a lot of pocket stitching on the back, I'll put a picture of one of the pockets with the back patch. but then I do a front and a back. I'll do each pocket, the back patch. There's a tag. That's a rivet for Levi's because people will verify age by looking at the inner rivets. And then I had the two of the inner tag. So it's harder when like if I'm selling a polo shirt, like I think I've only got on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I had, because this was new, I could take pictures of the tag, and I took a picture of the logo and the inner tag. It's got an extra button on it. This one had an interesting collar, so I could take some extra pictures of that. But sometimes with the polos and the button-down shirts, I only wind up with like 6 or 7. But I try to have as many pictures as I can possibly have too.
Yeah, the more pictures, the better. And just kind of wrapping up the thought on that quality listing report, consider that your report card and rate yourself. See how you stack up against the top 10% sellers and look for areas that you can improve on. And that's a good way to approach it. And I think the other thing is, like, even though I was better than the top 10% in almost every category, I'm only listing 27 items per day currently, and I'm trying to grow that. The more you list, the more traffic you get, the more sales you will convert. And my goal, in a year, probably a little bit over a year, I want to be up to 100 listings per day. But I do think if you try to grow too fast, there are a lot of growing pains and you can get into a lot of trouble. Like, you really need to take your time, slow and steady growth. And it depends on what your goals are too. But like, if you want a giant store and you want to make a lot of money, and like Kevin, what you were saying, I think Scott, like, I'm really proud of Scott. Like, of course, he's been killing it on Amazon, and Scott's really knowledgeable, and he's good at jumping in dumpsters. But what was it, about 2 months ago, he decided he wanted to jump on eBay, and he's taking this knowledge from people and from these reports, and he's implementing it, and his sales are growing really rapidly. And that's just anybody out there that's starting, you can definitely grow really quickly, especially your first year, and then it slows down a little bit.
Yeah, I also think too, I'd be interested to follow Scott's numbers month by month, because again, it's too late for us to do it because we already had so much in our store, but Scott's is more of a new store, and he's very motivated, which is always a plus too. Motivation's a huge factor in this.
Next week I could go over my store and my numbers, like what I've learned here this week, and next week we could go through those reports on my store just to see what.
Because I wonder, I'd like to see that, because I wonder what you must be hitting on something well, because I mean your sales are amazing. Yeah,
like I had 4 offers this morning before I even woke up, and I had 4 sales this morning.
Yeah. when you had 4 best offers?
Best offers. Did you have 4
morning. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So I took them all because my cost of goods are so low. Like, Brian took that offer for the jeans. He says he goes up to 50%. I've been taking most of those offers, except for if it's like a really low ball one.
It's literally making money in your sleep.
Yeah, it's weird because Amazon's like that. You can take Amazon and you are making money in your sleep because you were sending in your inventory, or you're already putting the work ahead of time. This is like, I got to put the work in daily, and it's a little bit
more
different.
Profit per good though. It's more profit per good. And what I'm thinking is that every year it's like a 401k, right? Every year it should go up 4, 6, sometimes 10%. Just keep that as a goal. Hey, list the same amount every year. If you have to list 20, 30 a day, that's fine. Because if he's like, again, another problem, Brian, is when you scale up, and I'm seeing it in the chat right now from Christian. If you scale up too quickly, you're going to run out of inventory, and then you're going to have to run through your money too as you're waiting for other items to sell.
Can I speak to that? And I
Of
know
course.
Clay sources for me part time, and he actually met Christian at the bins, and I heard Christian's a really nice dude, and of course Clay's everybody's friend. The only thing I would say, Christian, is from experience, I know when you first start, you see all this information and you want to go from 0 to 100. But the thing is, like I think you said you joined Chris and Tech's group and you'll learn so much there. But if you're doing 20 listings a day and you don't have the right title format down and you're not filling out the right item specifics and you haven't figured out pricing yet, before you know it, you're going to have a lot of items in your store that are probably not going to sell, and that you're going to have to be like I am right now a year from now. Because I when I started close a year ago, I took the shortcut. I went with Sellhound and Hammock, and anybody using Sellhound or Hammock, stop, please stop. They so many of their listings are horrible that are just messed up, and I'm having to spend time now correcting those every day. And if I would have just started slow, 1 a day, 5 a day, learned, spend the time to learn, because I don't think if you're brand new, if you don't know much about clothing, I don't think you would have time to list 20 a day properly, or it's going to take all day, because you're going to have to spend that time researching. Because like Andy and Kevin and Scott's learning, like myself, once you list and sell, like that American Eagle, I didn't have to think twice. I knew exactly what it was. I knew that offer was fair. It was good, because I've sold, dozens, if not hundreds of American Eagles. And so you just got to take the time, like what Tech says this, and in Tech's a man. Slow grow. That's why I only increase 1 extra listing per day per week, because guess what? When you list a lot, then eventually you're going to sell a lot. Well, then you got to ship a lot. Then you've got to be able to source a lot, because all these systems are interconnected. And if one goes way up, the others can quickly fall out of whack. So just be careful. I'm not trying to discourage you. I love the idea of growth, but just be careful as you're learning and growing.
And even that in my new store, I started with 5. As you guys know, I started with 5 listings. Last month was 10, and then November 1st I went to 15. It wasn't already 15, bam, 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 bam. So I agree with the slow growth too.
You also got to make sure you have inventory for that week. So like for us, we list 20 a day. So we make sure, we make sure that we always have that for the week, right? Because we also run out, but we're always bringing a pen and pencil with us, making sure, okay, now we got all our items for the week. Now we can go home. Because again, you have to treat this like a job. If you want to make it your full-time income, like me and Brian do and Andy, you got to treat it like that. If you buy 30 items and you bang out those 30 items and list them in one day, yeah, you're going to get the sales, but they're going to drop off in 2 days. You know what I mean? So you want to like spread it out. So eBay slowly sends you those sales as you go up in listings, as Scott sees consistently, the more he's selling it. Like I said, it's just like a mutual fund.
I know.
Go ahead, Andy. I just wanted to say, back in 2019, I set up like 75 99-cent auctions to end on one Sunday, and that Monday shipping was like Marine freaking boot camp. I was ready to like fall over and just pass out, because it was, like Brian said, it was too much work too quick, and you got to have a system. Yeah, you have to have systems in place, or you wind up getting in trouble. And now it's 30 or 35 to 40 is my limit for
Yep.
for auctions, but I wanted to get as many in as I could because there's only 4 Sundays, and I wanted to end on Sundays because it's the busiest. It's the busiest day of the week, around 10 o'clock at night on Sunday, and that goes all the way back to the beginning, really. I had a pair of God, what were they? I think I sold a pair of Rock Revivals that I did a 99-cent auction, and I forgot to put them from 10 days on a Thursday, so they ended on a Thursday, and they wound up selling about where I wanted them to, but I think they probably would have sold for more if they'd went the full 10 days and then went to Sunday.
Yeah, but again, it takes experience. You know now what to do differently. Just like me and Brian and Scott. Scott's learning, but me and Brian know what we do differently. Like we know when we get something, okay, let's bang out jeans one day, bang out dress shirts one day, but it's always consistently the same number because eBay's they like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll text you that information. Well, Clay, I'll just tell you he has a whole team, and they're anywhere from $2 per item. I think the highest guy he pays is $4 per item. So yeah, and Tech honestly says, I think he's kidding, but he's halfway serious. He says the sourcers have the best job because they source and they're done, while Tech has to list it all, deal with customer service, ship it, and all the headaches. So I think most people would agree the sourcing is the funnest part. So I think being a sourcer, getting paid a lot, and that's my goal. And I've talked to Clay about this. Like I do have big ambitions. I want to build a big store like Chris and Tech one day, and have sourcers out there making good money and helping me grow the business.
Clay
All right,
needs to
I
come
think-
out to
Yeah,
Sacramento
I
and
mean,
start
it's really
sourcing.
nice. It's very nice to be a sorcerer. I'd love to be a sorcerer myself.
So he's
get to
paying
our-
them a couple of bucks above and beyond what he's paying on the actual item to go out and get it for him.
Well, Tech is in Florida, and they have lots of rag houses.
Tech's in Florida?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
he's
it's in
in
California. That's
No.
awesome.
That's why I keep telling you, man. You need to go to those flea markets out there.
I wonder where in Florida he's from.
Southern Florida. Yeah, he said
I'm
it's,
like, yeah.
He has the people go to the rag houses too. So
We have a
Rag-
rag. There's a rag house in Vero that I've been wanting to go to. You can go and you can pick once at the end of the month, and it's all vintage T-shirts and stuff. And I just haven't gotten around to doing it. I've just been so busy, or I already have my inventory for the week. But I do, like you said, Brian, I do need to go out to a flea market and say, if you guys source for me, I'll give you an extra $2 per piece, or you buy it for $2, I'll double it, just like you were telling me.
I do have a local connection at a flea market near me, and like I buy shirts and jeans from him probably a couple times a month. Like I've spent over $1,000 with him at a time, and loaded up the back of the van. So as Chris would say, the longer you do this, sourcing becomes the easier part. But it does no good to source thousands of items if you're not able to list them, inventory them, store them, and ship them. So you've got to have all those systems working in sync. All right, I think we've covered all the main points.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, if y'all haven't, appreciate it if you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to Dr. Denham, go ahead and subscribe. Also, subscribe to Dumpster Diver Dad, the Thrifting Lounge, and Andy, the eBay Contrarian. And just a reminder, we also have a podcast. It's the Reseller Roundtable. It's available on Spotify and other platforms where you can stream audio. Alton does a really good job editing this these rough lives, and actually the podcasts are much cleaner and easier to listen to because he gets rid of a lot of our nonsense, which we have quite a bit of. All right,
keeps it to an hour, unlike us.
So final thoughts. Any big plans for this weekend? Any final thoughts? We'll go around and then we'll call it a night. Scott?
Yeah, I am excited to garage selling tomorrow. Of course, there's going to be a couple around the area that look pretty good. So hopefully I can source some stuff there. And then also, it's the middle of the month, so I'm looking to build up my listings. I'm still going to start listing hats too, so I'm looking forward to that. But it's it's crazy to think, me sourcing clothing and everything else, because I was anti-clothing for so long. So it's I had a death pile and I had to get through it, and it's sort of changed my mind on it. So it's been good.
It's the easiest thing to learn, to sell, to ship, and it's so easy to store it. You can get so much items in just in a bin, as you can see behind Brian. But for me, I'm going to be chilling around the house this week, and I got my inventory probably till next Friday. And I'm going to be trying to do an interview with Linda Bottino. It'll be the second interview I've done with her, because I am going to be venturing the estate sales. I'm going to be, I as you guys know, in the past, I have my license as a business for estate sales now. So I'm going to be interviewing her, basically asking her questions that I need to know to really get started with this. My goal is by next year is to do a couple of estate sales a month. Actually, to start, probably one every other month, because it takes a lot of work. But I'm hoping to get a lot of inventory from it and connections, local connections, things like that. So be on the lookout for that episode, that I would say interview on the Thrifting Lounge.
Andy?
Yep. I did a lot of sourcing today, so I'm going to have a lot of listing going on. And I share my kids every other weekend with my ex-wife, and this will be my off weekend without kids, so I'll be able to get a lot of stuff done as far as that goes. And I bought there's a company called Keyword Dominator, and they have a different keyword tool for each of the platforms. And I bought the one for eBay about 6 months ago, and now I bought one for YouTube. So I'm going to be doing some keyword research, because my video about how to fix slow sales, it shows up when you search slow sales eBay on YouTube, and it's pushing up towards 200 views, and I did it like 48 hours ago. Yeah. So I'm going to do a little more keyword research, because I want to try and do a video a day, and I've been focusing more on that than actually listing, which I need to get both of them into the schedule.
On Brian, remember what I told you, right? And what happened?
Yeah. So about a year ago, I was like really trying to grow YouTube, but it was taking up so much time. And Kevin was like, man, just spend some of that time listing more. Because about a year ago, or maybe a little bit more than a year ago, I was maybe listing 5 items a day, and I was selling hard goods and everything. And I was doing okay, but I was too spread out. And so basically, I just kind of gave YouTube up, other than an occasional live video, and was just putting all my energy into listing more. I got up to 50 listings a day for quite a while. And then, Kevin and I were talking, and we decided with everyone else to bring back the lives and to try to do the podcast. And to be honest, I do feel a little bit of that YouTube pull, but it is very dangerous. Like, eBay makes me the money, but if I get where I have time, maybe I'll start making a few videos. I will say, in Chris and Tech's group, I host a Monday book club call where we read business books and other books that will help us in our businesses, and I'll lead that group. And Daily Refinement, or Chris, is allowing me to upload those videos onto my YouTube channel. So I did upload one yesterday. So if you like to read business books, and the people in the group, we discuss how that can relate to our businesses and our personal lives, and how we can actually implement that. And so there's a lot of good content there. So if that interests you, you might want to check that out. That's under the book club playlist. And as far as this week, tomorrow I'm going to get up, go garage selling. I've been going garage selling on Fridays and Saturdays recently, and then supplementing that with the bins and the flea market when I need to, and that's done me pretty good. All right. Well, once again, thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Thanks Scott, Kevin, and Andy for tonight's show. Alton, if you're out there, hope you feel better. Next week, are we going to be on your channel, Scott?
Yep, it's my channel, my turn. Unless Andy wants a turn.
Let me have another week, and then
Okay, so I'll do it next week. I'll put out a link here on Monday or Tuesday, and we'll be good to go.
All right. So next week we'll be on Dumpster Divers Dad, same times. Well, not same channel, same time.
I think I have 1,400 subscribers, so I think it's from everybody going and subscribing. So
Good
thanks,
job.
guys.
Nice. All right. Well, everybody have a good night and good luck out there hustling.
Good night, guys.
Awesome. Night.
And